The road to Redbull Wololo Legacy continues with the July weeklies. Week number 1, we've got the quarterfinals here with MarineLord in the southeast corner of the map in blue as the French. And in the northwest corner of the map, we've got Kasva playing in red as the French as well. So an interesting matchup in the quarterfinals. Of course, the winner of this progresses to the semi-finals. Get that closer to the finals of the road to Redbull Wololo Legacy July weekly. And the map is Cauldron. We've not actually seen this map, at least not on this channel. This is a new map actually, designed by community members for EGCTV's tournament for the Redbull Wololo Legacy qualifiers. And, well, let's take a look, because we've got on the minimap already this central area of shorefish, which is going to be an interesting place to fight for, actually, because shorefish is the fastest gathered food on the map. And so that's going to be a point of contestation for the two players, or just generally. We've got two sacred sites on the left and right of that pond, so certainly this central area is going to be very important to get a hold of, because the sacred sites, of course, gold trickle, very important. And then we've got lots of relics in the middle as well, as you can see, quite close to the middle of the pond, 2 of them, one on either side, next to the sacred sites, and there's also 2 boars. There's very much quite centric heavy here with this map, with the boars being, you kind of have to fight for the middle. On the sides, you do get single woodline, actually double woodline to start off in your base, relatively close by, as you'd expect on maps like this. And then you've got this mountainous ridge on the edge, so the actual wood amount on this map is not a whole lot, guys. You've only got 2 massive wood lines, and then you've got little sporadic spots near the corner of the map, and also on the sides, really. Actually, to be honest, it's on the 2 sides, so everything kind of leads towards the middle on this map. It makes players look to put that pressure on. Let's take a look at the deer patches. You get 1 deer patch and berries as well, which MarineLord, you can see, is pushing his deer in very nicely. His food income is going to be incredibly strong, which is so important with the French. Kasva does have a back deer patch, which he's using now, but his berries are a little bit further away, so we'll need to invest in another mill. But that's not usually a problem for the French, because obviously the mills are a little bit cheaper for the French civilization at 25 wood rather than the usual 50. Right, both players get into the tutelage. A French mirror. It's going to be an interesting one. I don't think I've seen a French mirror in quite some time, and certainly not on this new map, Cauldron. So we shall see how this one plays out. 2 professional players here playing this. Both players go for the School of Cavalry, as you'd expect. Nothing really too exciting on that front. 4 villages on gold for Kasva, and 4 villages as well from MarineLord, being harassed here by Kasva's scouts. Essentially relatively equal builds here. We just do see Kasva a little bit more heavier on gold and wood, and a little bit less heavy on food. But don't forget, he's actually committed a bit more to the... Actually, no, it's actually on sheep. If you want to deer, it would have been you know, a little bit quicker on the food income. So I'm a bit surprised he's not done that. But especially with the mobility on the French, you feel like you kind of want to take these external food sources first, so that if you do get pushed, you can move back to the sheep that will be underneath the town centre and relatively safe there. So we see early knights coming out, the Royal Knights coming out for Kasva, as well as MarineLord. MarineLord's going to get there a little bit quicker with his first one, so he's going to have the advantage in terms of the aggression. That can play a big factor. The first aggressor can get a little bit of damage and deny the gold, especially because of the fact that Kasva's gold is very far forward. I have to say, you get the feeling that Kasva's base is actually a little bit worse off here. Charge that does go there for Kasva. Will possibly try and get a kill. Doesn't he? Backs off, doesn't want to lose the knight, and it's the right decision in the end. We want to keep that knight as best as possible, but the problem for Kasva now is he's lost a lot of HP on that knight. He can't take direct engagement against a MarineLord's knight, and he's got to be careful about not losing a scout, because that would be a devastating Kasva. That would be devastating to lose that scout. That is terrible, because now he doesn't have the vision, and he's going to get hit again with his knight. Kasva throwing away his units here. He needs to be careful not to throw this knight away as well. The issue for Kasva is that he doesn't have the gold position to kind of dominate and push off those villages, because that's what's funding the knight production. The food here, sure, that could be a source of aggression, but MarineLord has sheep at the back of his town centre there, in the centre there, so that'll be protected. Whereas Kasva's gold, he needs to be aggressive here, Kasva. I think he's going to mine extra gold just to be safe, just in case he gets pushed off, and I think that's the right thing to do here, and that will also help him build up a bit of a tally of gold in case he wants to go to the castle age, which obviously is not on the cards anyway anytime soon, but it's something you have to bear in mind if you're the player that's going to necessarily be defensive. Oh, actually, Kasva gets a big pick on the knight there. Nicely done. Okay, look at just harass these villagers. This is good idle time is causing, certainly good value. But here we see the knights coming in for MarineLord, looking to harass the villagers on gold. because that's a problem, because without the gold he can't produce knights. Spearman comes out from MarineLord to try and defend that position. He does take a knight for Kasva. So now MarineLord can go back onto that food on the front side and gather those valuable resources, which he will need, certainly, to progress. Now, Kasva is getting a decent amount of wood. You just wonder whether it could be for an archery range, but actually he's gone for a double stable, so it's going to be relatively aggressive here. That's rather surprising, has to be said. Going for another scout. Going for horticulture as well as an eco upgrade. So he has got his wheelbarrow. He's getting his horticulture as well. Kasva looking to get those eco upgrades. Wheelbarrow is in for MarineLord, so Kasva looking to get that little bit one up on the eco by getting horticulture. But it looks like MarineLord is aiming for a second town centre. He's harassing the villagers on the gold here. One will go down. And that's going to be a problem for Kasva this whole game. He's not been able to outpost that and he's going to lose villagers. But so is MarineLord. MarineLord loses one on the stone. And that's quite significant because MarineLord would have invested, well, it's not a lot, 25 wood, but it would have invested some time there gathering the stone, which you can't really complete. The stone is not really that useful until you get that magic number 300, because up until that point, there's not much you can do with it apart from get arrow slits for outposts, of which MarineLord has none. That's one thing to consider, that pushing off the stone is quite important because it delays that second town centre, delays the eco. But we do see knights here for MarineLord looking to get some damage here. Yeah, Kasva just has to be careful with these villagers at all times. He notices that knight's going to come in, lots of idle time being caused here. Blacksmith going down as well, which will certainly help. We'll get Bloomery for free. That could be the difference, but then MarineLord's getting his blacksmith as well, so pretty much like for like. MarineLord's got a couple bit more protection with the spearmen to defend that position on the stone. Looking to get that second town centre and eco. Now Kasva getting a good charge attack, but we can see MarineLord actually has chivalry here. So that's going to be key because his knights will be healing up. Kasva, as he said, has gone for double stable and is now dropping that outpost for that gold. He's going to need to protect that gold because going double stable knights here, you definitely need a lot of gold for that. But that will push his castle age time back for sure. So we shall see what MarineLord decides to do on that front. Does have only one stable in terms of the School of Cavalry, and he opted for that barracks earlier. It's going for the spearmen. That's going to be rather significant. Whilst Kasva does have the mobility, as you can see here, it doesn't have a direct counter to what MarineLord has. You get the feeling if Kasva drops an archery range, that could be quite useful. He's going to go for a second mining camp, try and make that a bit more efficient. It's a nice touch there for the French, having the cheaper drop-off points there. Good thing for Kasva is because he's being relatively aggressive, he can get this pocket eco in terms of these deer, which would be a problem if he wasn't on that, because he's not got a whole lot of sheep left under his town centre. He does look to be going for a second town centre himself with 8 villagers there. He is still going on quite heavy on gold for that double stable production. Going to circle around here on the right with knights. Doesn't have chivalry, which is rather surprising, because he does have a lot of knights there. I suspect that'll probably be an upgrade he gets relatively soon. He won't want to take too many fights with these weak knights before they're healed up with chivalry. 10 minutes into the game, things are heating up a little bit. Villagers now do garrison in the outpost. Not quite enough there. Oh, that was a nice touch there by Kasva. He actually blocked that knight from attacking that villager with one of the other villagers. That was full health. That was quite smart, actually. It's quite a nice touch to see. He's got to be careful. He might need another outpost because he's certainly got more than that will fit in that one outpost. 12 villagers there. Only 5 spaces in that outpost to be filled. Got to be careful about this position here being open because there is a knight heading that way now. I was going to suggest earlier possibly walling this up, but he did have a lot of map control with the army on the field, but with knights like this from MarineLord, he can always just do this. Just charge in, got the mobility, he's going to be able to snipe one villager, you think. There it is, one villager goes down, and you know, that wood investment that would have needed for that wall certainly would have been worth it. And the fact is that MarineLord has chivalry as well, so that knight will be healing up quite nicely as he backs off. Kasva sends one knight just to defend that position. Ooh, quite a few knights versus knights here, but you have to say there are quite a few weak knights there in the mix there for Kasva, and the town centre is there. Kasva with 8 villages now, so we'll be doing some damage. Kasva can't really take that fight. Second town centre is up for MarineLord now, up and running. Means his villager count will be putting ahead, so we've got quite a lot more villagers there, 44 to 39. Kasva's had a lot of idle time, it seems, especially on his builds. Going to berries now. That's unfortunate. It doesn't seem like he lost too many villagers actually, Kasva, but clearly he has. He may have had some idle time in his town centre, but especially with the second town centre, that's going to be a problem for Kasva. Horseman there, raiding on the right side. Again, getting good value here, pushing Kasva off for food, which is not what he wants. He's more than got enough stone. Holy smokes. 584 stone. Possibly was looking for a third town center, but that would be pretty crazy. I think he may have just left those villages a little bit too long than he wanted. He's going to go for... Where is he going for that second town center? That's the issue. He's actually still got something garrison in there. I think it might be a knight. But where is that second town center going? Fitted leatherwork coming in for Kasva, which is an interesting choice because that's certainly going to help take better trades against the spearmen. Where is the second town center going? Or is he saving it for a keep maybe when he gets to the castle age? He might be actually thinking about going to the castle age and dropping a keep forward. Because he may feel like he's a bit too far behind here. And he certainly will be because of the village count. 42 down for Kasva, 52 for MarineLord. I suspect that's what's going to happen. He might even look to buy that keep when he gets to the castle age. He's very behind on food, playing one town center so far. Oh, is he going to go for a town center on the front there, near the shorefish, sacred site and the relic? Be interested to see. It looks like a focus for the fight might be there. If MarineLord sees that, he may look to punish it. 17 military on the field for Kasva, 23 for MarineLord. Because of the superior economy and the fact that he's got spears, I think if MarineLord forces a fight here, denies the town center, and actually will be able to take out the units for Kasva, because the spearmen will do a lot of work on that. There are 12 villagers trying to build that. Looks like MarineLord is actually going to go around the right side, not going to spot that. Going to take his army and harass that gold line, which is going to be a problem for Kasva if he doesn't pull those villagers out. He's not noticed, he's not reacted, guys. He's going to lose a lot of villagers here. 2 go down, likely to be a third. And that's a problem for Kasva, losing villagers left, right and centre, of which he doesn't have too many already. Third one goes down, fourth one goes down. That is a huge raid by MarineLord. He's going to circle through the wood line now and the villagers on deer rather. And this is a big problem for MarineLord. Kasva looking to do some damage of his own, going for the gold line there. But this gold vein is the first time it's been attacked here. MarineLord had a lot of gold. Oh, this is absolute massacre. You get the feeling if you're Kasva here, now you're really struggling because he's lost so many villagers here. It's 36 for Kasva, 57 for MarineLord. Kasva very far behind, needs to do some immense amount of raiding to get any sort of way back into this game. And the thing is, MarineLord's done a great job of walling up here. He's saving his villagers on the other side of the wall, but the knights will look to take those out. And this is a good surround by Kasva. It's going to be a massacre there for the French villagers here for MarineLord. Villagers go back into the walls. Kasva needs to react to this though. He needs to get some villagers. Oh, the knights aren't reacting. This is an issue. Just these split-second decisions or split-second movements aren't in his favour. It's not working out. He's losing his knights to defensive knights there for MarineLord. And that's a big problem. MarineLord again raiding heavily, causing so much idle time. Villagers being idled here, that's the main thing. It comes down to one thing. MarineLord's eco is buzzing, as you can see still. Kasva's is being incredibly idled. And that's probably going to be the difference in this game in this first French mirror on Cauldron. Spearman going to try and push out any remaining knights there that Kasva has. The knights are going to be clearing things up for MarineLord. Going to be taking that outpost down, and that's probably going to be the start of the end of this game, because Kasva's going to lose another 3 villages, and he only has 35 to speak of. 60 for MarineLord, looking dominant with the eco, and it just comes down to that raiding ability that he had. That's for sure. And again, the knights just keep running around for MarineLord, getting so much value because he has about 7 knights here, but he's actually taking the whole army that Kasva has, relatively 10 knights there, being dragged out, trying to take out the knights here, but that means it gives the space here for MarineLord just to do another attack, another wave, if he wishes to, and it keeps Kasva out of his eco. Kasva will be so far behind. MarineLord knows he's ahead in terms of villages, and so it's really smart just to keep the army on the front line, because the longer he pushes Kasva here, it means the longer his eco gets that a chance, an opportunity to keep building up and to get his way up to the next stage most likely. There's a big fight on the front. This is not a fight that Kasva can take because there are spearmen behind. Kasva just going for the single unit choice here, and that's not really what's helping him here. The unit counters are so hard in Age of Empires 4 that these spearmen will be getting so much value at such reduced cost compared to a knight. Outpost going there for MarineLord. That's certainly going to help his position to deny these fish. Again, outpost going on the right side. We'll be looking to protect the ecos that MarineLord does have. And that second town centre is such a nice spot for MarineLord there that it offers extra food here on the centre. It's going to be a big fight here, but loads of villagers here for Kasva. I'm not sure what the villagers are doing there. Where are they going? They're going to their deaths, most likely. Spearmen in behind. Again, the spearmen are going to get huge value. Villagers don't know what to do with themselves, trying to gather some food. Villagers getting into the fight here. This is going terrible for Kasva. He's going to be cycling around with more knights here, and more villagers go down. That is 38 villagers for Kasva. Kasva can't keep up here. Spearmen going to be taking out so many of these knights. The army is all but gone for Kasva 4, and he calls it because Kasva took huge losses there. Losses that he can't recover from. MarineLord takes the first game of the set. Don't go anywhere, guys. Game number 2 coming right up. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 2 between MarineLord and Kasva. On Dry Arabia in the north corner of the map, we've got MarineLord playing in blue as the Delhi Sultanate. And in the south corner of the map, playing as the Mongols, is Kasva in red. What a fantastic spawn already. We've got this fantastic wood line and gold right next to each other. All that remains to be seen is where the Ovu position is. And it's relatively far out, actually, to be fair, but it's not the worst spawn you can have, because of course that wood and gold is that's such a key position to think about with the Mongols. And it's in a really nice location for Kasva right now. MarineLord, on the other hand, is going for those berries which are relatively nicely located in the back of his base. Map being Dry Arabia is actually relatively protected here on the front here from MarineLord, which is a nice touch for him, but it's going to be open exposed here on the right side, which is certainly where Kasva can put some pressure. Now, Mongols, can we expect anything other than an outpost rush? We shall see. We shall see if Kasva decides to mix things up a little bit. But I'll be surprised if it's not an outpost rush. Probably the most common thing to be done with the Mongols, especially on an open map like Dry Arabia. The Delhi Sultanate getting all their eco upgrades for free, as you can see. Efficient production and piety coming in for MarineLord at the moment. Getting that wheelbarrow from the mill. Yeah, there we are. Villager going forward, most likely to build that barracks. A bit surprising that he's sending a villager rather than building the barracks, say, for instance, here, and then making it go out, and then... I mean, this could be quicker. This could be quicker. We shall see if that makes a big difference to the build. And then we see Kasva moving his Khan around and getting those sheep that he needs to get. MarineLord starting to go on gold to get up that to the next stage, most likely. Now, what's interesting is to think about where the first outpost may actually, in fact, go for Kasva. You get the feeling that if you can get an outpost on the wood, perhaps the berries, may even target the gold. Gold, the issue with the gold is that it will have to circle round, most likely this way around. It's a bit too far of a walk. By the time he gets there, I'm sure MarineLord would have got enough gold to get up to the next stage. He went through here with his spearmen, he'll be sniped by the town centre. Really, the viable options, it appears, is to get outposts on the wood line, or the gold, or the berries rather. I don't think the gold is going to be a position he can push so easily. But we shall see where these double produced spearmen will go. There is the efficient production. That's actually a key issue for MarineLord. When he gets to the feudal age, if he does need to, he can double produce effectively in terms of speed from his production buildings, just by garrisoning a scholar in that production building. There are those two spearmen heading forward. There was a double scout being used by Kasva, getting that plenty of sheep. And there's that villager going for the outpost, and MarineLord will spot it. It does look like the villager is going to be building the outpost on the woodline. I'd be surprised if the villager tries to make his way past that area. It is the woodline that he's targeting. And that's important. He's going to need to try and cycle around here on the right side if that's where MarineLord puts his woodline, which I suspect it will be. We shall see, because MarineLord will need to make that decision relatively soon. He'll need to be going to wood so he can afford those production buildings and units. Most likely in the form of archers. Two scouts there for MarineLord, looking to push that villager back. Spearmen are going to be coming close by, try and protect that position. The villager starts building again. So far, standard stuff for the Mongols. 4 villagers building that Dome of the Faith landmark. It's the landmark of choice for the Delhi at the moment. Hardly ever see Tower of Victory. Alright, 2 more spearmen are on the field, looking to protect that position. Scout going towards the gold villagers, might look to just try and harass those villagers. Won't get too much value with just 1 scout. There is that woodline being taken now, and I think Kasva needs to cycle around the right side in order to do that. Now, there's something really interesting that's been done. MarineLord's deleted that mining camp before it was attacked, because he doesn't want to afford to lose this, because he could have actually lost that. He's got the gold he needed, and doesn't want to give the raid bounty to the Mongols. The Mongols, when they do make a building go light and fire, they get food and gold. So that's what he's just managed to defend and stop there. It's a nice little thing to do if you're worried about giving your opponent the upper hand in that way. Outpost going on the right side, does spot it with 2 scouts, going to take some HP on those villagers, that villager there. But there are 2 spearmen coming back, maybe looking to snipe that scout on the north part. There is a spearman going to be taking damage from the town centre. This is not really what he wants to be doing. It cycles away there. Now, MarineLord has got to the next stage. This is the key issue. He's actually starting to siege down that outpost with 2 scouts. That's really how you want to defend outpost rushes. You want to try and siege it down and as soon as, or even just before your opponent gets the feudal age, because of arrow slits. Arrow slits is where really the big damage comes in, because it means that these outposts don't have to be manned anymore. Okay, yeah, looks like now Kasva is just going to keep 1 spearman garrison in there, so they make sure it can't just be rushed down. But we'll need to be careful, because these villagers might come back again with a vengeance to try and rush that down. Woodline has been denied for Kasva, so good bit of aggression here, causing a few problems for MarineLord, but he is going to be getting straggler trees, which Kasva can't really deny and stop. And that will help him produce these archers. This is the issue. He can double produce in terms of efficient production speed. And it means he can pump out these archers and defend this woodline. That's really what he just needs to do at this point. And if he can do that successfully, his wood income will be guaranteed. He does need to make sure that there's no more further progression on these outposts though. Kasva not yet at the next stage, is going up, I believe, by now. Yeah, he is going up with the deer stones, getting a stable down as well for most likely early horsemen. They're going to upgrade those horsemen, I'm sure about that. There we are. That woodline is going to be being used by MarineLord, and he's got enough army here to protect himself and push any aggression that's coming on back of this. And often with Mongols, they tend to go for a fast castle behind this. But no villages on gold just yet, just 2 villages actually, so it looks like Kasva is going to double down in the feudal age. And getting those horsemen out there, I suspect. He's not actually queued anything up just yet. That has to be considered. So he's getting for arrow slits in the outposts. Pretty obvious thing to be happening there. Right. Arrow slits are in. Now barracks is going down for MarineLord, looking to defend himself from the stable units that are starting to come out now for Kasva. He's being double produced using the Aoe4 stone in order to do so. It's going to be horsemen and spearmen for Kasva, archers and spearmen for MarineLord. Equal number of villages, which you'd expect by now. Don't forget the big difference in the economy at the moment is that the Delhi Sultanate are getting their eco upgrades for free. He's got his forestry, researching double broadaxe, he's got his wheelbarrow already. Getting horticulture, well, he's getting survival techniques first, but then horticulture, and he hasn't clicked his mining upgrade. A bit of a shame. Getting 2 spearmen before he gets the hardened upgrade. And we hear those scholars continuously coming out the Dome of the Faith. Getting a blacksmith as well now for good measure. Going to be getting steeled arrow for free. This is where things can start to get out of control for the Delhi Sultanate. Huge amounts of eco upgrades. Huge amounts of armoured in terms of military upgrades with the blacksmith. This is where things get a bit of an issue for Kasva and the Mongols, because he's looking to secure the sacred sites, trying to prevent those being taken. He's actually also getting the boar, it seems. And that's going to be nice for a food income. For sure, to be able to get to the next stage. He's actually getting 7 villages in gold. It does look like a fast castle behind this. So a bit of delayed here for MarineLord, but nothing too drastic. MarineLord now walling up this right side, is it his left side of the base, which is actually a really nice touch here. That's going to offer a lot of protection, guys. That's a lot of eco he can add back behind here. Not a lot of resources there guarding, but it just means the mobility of the Mongols can't be used as efficiently as well on this left side. It means that MarineLord can just focus on this part here on the right. Can even look to get siege engineering eventually for free from his blacksmith, and they get some rounds to push this back and develop a strong mid-feudal age and early castle age. Horseman there looking to just take out that scout. Horseman will be able to do that. It's the fastest unit on the field, so MarineLord will lose that scout. Here we are. Here's the sieging down. Spearmen are coming out. Scholars looking to heal up those spearmen as well. This is a really nice touch because MarineLord probably won't lose a single unit here, despite being focus fired with arrow slits from the outpost. And MarineLord just going to keep an eye on things here. Needs to be careful not to lapse judgment on the micro here for the scholars, but just repeat, if he just heals up his units, he'll be absolutely fine. I mean, just need to switch to the archer here. Might lose one archer here. Oh, manages to get away with it, actually. Yeah, outpost will be going down. And on the back of this, Kasva getting quite a lot of gold. Looking good to get to the next stage relatively soon, especially by being on board. Spearmen are there, going to be taken down by the archers. And now the first outpost going down means that MarineLord can focus on the second outpost. Maybe even look to actually get Sacred Site with this army. And that seems to be the case. It does have two outposts here, though, Kasva, and an outpost on this western Sacred Site. So MarineLord's going to have to deal with that first before we can actually get hold of that Sacred Site. Okay, going up with a step redoubt. No surprises there as Kasva going to the Castle Age. A relatively nice uptime here. MarineLord will find out the hard way that there are arrow slits in these outposts. I suspect MarineLord may look to even wall up this section here. That will offer him so much protection if he does so. Actually going to go down to the south, looking to try and get some value on the other Sacred Site. Now looks like he's going to try and siege down this outpost. 3 scholars are there, spearmen, being used to siege this down. Going to use the scholars to heal up those units. Yeah, it is the eastern Sacred Site that MarineLord is going to go for. Going to look to wall that up, and there is the Castle Age of Kasva. Let's just see what kind of units Kasva is going to go for. It's going to look to get double producing of knights. Double stable as well, no less. Walling up that Sacred Site on the right side. Getting hold of the Sacred Site will give that 150 gold trickle for the Deadly Sultanate. Will help him in turn get to the Castle Age, but he is a little bit behind as long as he survives. Until he hits Castle Age himself, that will be a strong position to be in, especially with the eco upgrades in play. Let's make no mistake, the Step Redoubt is incredibly strong, 9 villagers on it. This Step Redoubt increases the gold dropped off by 50%, so a heck of a lot, effectively an extra 4.5 villagers here immediately as the Step Redoubt is being used. There are those lancers, good mobility on the map, maybe looking to snipe the villagers on gold. We'll be able to hide and get through this area here. But the spearmen are being brought by MarineLord in this area just to defend this position, because this is where it's exposed and this is where he walls up. So again, this is going to offer him so much protection. Walls go up just in time. There is a villager there actually. So this is an interesting touch. Might be looking to get an outpost within that wood line there, but actually the villager heads back there. Lancer's going to go around the right side. We're going to suffer a lot of damage here with this spearman. That's not ideal for him. And now MarineLord will be able to get up to the Castle Age. But there are a lot of spearmen here, so the knights will have to be careful for Kasva. Won't want to run into those. There is the compound of the defender going up for MarineLord, building it with 12 villagers. Rushing it down, looking to maybe get some stone walls. Doesn't actually have any stone before doing that. Looks like Kasva actually has some... Well, of course, he's actually spending a stone quite significantly with the Aoe4. The double production of more lancers. But certainly going heavy on the knights. A bit of a surprise here, not only that he's transitioning into archers, because there's a lot of spearmen on the field for MarineLord. Getting a spearman to protect those key resources, and MarineLord just looks relatively safe at this point. Kasva are not able to do much damage, and you just get the feeling that Kasva won't be able to do too much damage unless he makes a transition off of those lancers. Maybe he needs to think about going to man-at-arms. And there is that Castle Age, but look how much resources MarineLord has on the back of that to spend. 800 food, 600 gold. He's going to be taking a good trade here against the lancers. A couple of spearmen get a couple of free hits. There are archers as well, just to get some damage as soon as the knights try and back off. Knights will get a charge attack. Maybe be able to take one villager, but not even that. Just about gets one villager, but these knights, these lancers are on such low health that Kasva is not really getting much value here. He's going to look to try and raid this wood line. We'll get some value here, I suspect. Oh, it doesn't actually. Just, oh no, it's terrible. We're going to cycle past and maybe look to try and get some of the villagers on the gold line. Taking a lot of damage to the arrow slits. Probably doesn't have iron undermesh at this point. I suspect he doesn't actually. Let's just take a look on that. Doesn't actually have a blacksmith, so indeed he won't have iron undermesh. And he took a lot of damage there. Getting a relic though. That'll help his gold situation. Outpost going there from MarineLord. Looking to protect the site because it's actually really quite key. There's a lot of food here. There's berries and there's deer. Lancers will be pushed away there with the spearmen. Lancers are coming for MarineLord, sorry, for Kasva, looking to assault that wood line. We'll be keeping MarineLord a little bit idle on wood, but that's not really an issue for him at this stage. He does have another wood line he can go to at the back here. It's still not ideal having these lancers riding around in the base. Spearman not able to catch up, but you just get the feeling Kasva's not doing enough damage that he would want to at this stage. 46 villages for Kasva, 46 for MarineLord, but as you can see, all these free upgrades are really going to be helping his situation. Kasva looking to try and decamp the sacred site. Is walled up though, so it'll take a bit of time to get rid of that gate, but he will do it. Okay, Tower Wall Elephant is on the field, going to do some damage here. Kasva will not want to let that build up, the numbers of those Tower Elephants. 2 Lancers do go down, maybe a couple of villagers, but all things considered, not too many losses there for MarineLord. Well, this is a big fight. Kasva loses 2 Lancers for absolute 3 Lancers for free. These guys are so weak now, and I don't think Kasva has Iron Undermesh still. That is a huge problem, because even these archers, whilst they shouldn't really do too much damage to the Lancers, they're doing a little bit. Spearman on hand. Outpost will be going down, being sieged down. Doesn't have Arrowslets either. Not going to be able to get the Springald emplacement in time. Over is depleted. Kasva struggling, get the feeling. The sacred side on the right side will be decapped, but MarineLord sending a large number of spearmen. These spearmen will probably get there in time as well, so it looks like MarineLord's going to be able to save that sacred site. And don't forget, the spearmen behind this can wall this up. This is going to be a nice touch. Sending 3 spearmen, sending the rest back. Yeah, this Lancer is not going to be able to manage, and now Kasva, for all that time spent with those 3 Lancers, is not going to get what he wanted. That sacred site will remain under the possession of the Daily Sultanate, constantly getting that gold trickle. Look at the food count from MarineLord. It certainly helps having those eco upgrades. That is for sure. Looks like, in fact, MarineLord's going to get a Springald emplacement in this outpost. Protect those burial villagers. Spearman on hand to defend it anyway. Looks like Kasva looking to try and get some sacred sites of his own. Ooh, villagers going down forward from MarineLord. Getting another mill on the berries. Going to keep a lot of spearmen there, I suspect. Lumber preservation comes in. Wood count's going to be shooting up from MarineLord. He decides to keep some villagers on there. Only actually has 1 villager so far, actually. They're just building another refreshed lumber camp. Kasva gets that sacred site. But you just get the feeling this is where Delhi Sultanate can be hugely strong in the mid-Castle Age. Look at that food count. The units really starting to spam out with scholars as well. 45 military for MarineLord, 33 for Kasva. This is where it becomes a problem. The scholars as well coming forward. 6 of them, guys. 6 of them. The army that's on the front lines here for MarineLord, it's going to be so hard to take out because Kasva will need to focus fire on those 6 scholars before he can do any damage to any of the army. Kasva looking to get his production builders out of the way. We'll lose that one though. And here come the scholars. Tower Elephant is going to soak up so much damage, and it's just going to be healed by the 6 scholars. And the archer is going to infinitely kite those spearmen. The spearmen aren't going to be able to do the damage that he would want. Spearmen versus spearmen. Archers in behind. Crossbows there. Crossbows are not going to be enough here. You just get the feeling MarineLord has so much more army. Not only does he have more army, he's healing up the army within the fight itself. And this is going to become a problem. You get the feeling Kasva is struggling here. He's being pushed back. Didn't get as much damage as he wanted. Looking to get the sacred side on the west side, but that's kind of by the by. The situation won't have enough time to really pay itself back. And now MarineLord looking to idle the production buildings. There are 4 relics though for Kasva. If Kasva can hold on, Delhi Sultan aren't particularly strong in the late game. That could be the Mongols' way back into this game, but he's under so much pressure at this point. Doesn't have the outpost defense that he would perhaps want. And you get the feeling that MarineLord is not going to be letting up here. That gold income will be huge for Kasva at the moment with the Steppe Redoubt and the relics, although having said that, the Steppe Redoubt is actually completely idle here. So this is fantastic for MarineLord. To idle this economy is huge. And in the back of this, Tower Elephant's coming out. MarineLord reducing the vision that Kasva has on the map with the outpost being taken down. We'll be looking to take down these outposts as well. But these guys do have Springald emplacement, so they will be able to do some damage. But the question is, will they be able to do enough before being sieged down? A couple of scholars there going to be healing up the units. outpost will be going down relatively quickly. There's just so many spearmen. These sacred sites will be decapped and captured by the Deadly Sultan, and when that happens, the gold income will be through the roof. Just get the feeling that Kasva's struggling here. Still going for spearmen and crossbows. I'm not sure it's the right army of composition here, right army of choice. Feels like, I mean, full archers would work quite nicely here for Kasva. But he doesn't really have the production building set up that way. MarineLord has so much food in the banks. Absolutely absurd. Getting hold of the sacred sites. Continuing to produce the tower elephants. There's quite a lot of them now. This is going to become a problem for Kasva very soon because they're making their way. 77 military, 47 for Kasva. Kasva just doesn't have enough of the right units to get the feeling. And they're kind of being brought out of position here. The army here for Kasva is on the south. He expected something that was just a bit of a distraction because MarineLord was pushing through the north, going for a keep on the front face there on the capital town centre and the main gold. The prayer tent is going to be looked to brought back home and safe because it does have a lot of relics inside. But I think if you're MarineLord, just dive that, just siege that down, and that's the gold income that MarineLord would deny. Tower elephants being healed by so many scholars, and yeah, Kasva just can't push. He's waiting, he's biding his time. Does have a Mangonel on the field, but you just get the feeling it's not going to be in time. And MarineLord getting a very, very strong push here on that town centre. That keep going up is not going to be able to be taken down anytime soon, and Kasva looking in a very bad spot. He needs to take care of the army, because if he doesn't, he's going to be pinned in for a long time, and he already is pinned in now because of that keep. Villagers there, that building, going to get a siege, a mosque on the front, as well as get a lot of wood. So this is a really nice touch from the Deadly Sultan getting that mosque there, because it means that the production speed or the research speed for village fortresses will work with the scholars that are garrisoned back at home. It transfers quite nicely. Here the tower elephants looking to be taken out by the spearmen. There's just so many scholars going underneath the keep, and Kasva is going to somehow needs to deal with this. He's going to need to deal with the army first, and then he has a much bigger problem on his hands. He's got that keep he needs to deal with. Start to wonder whether he'll be able to do it. Once that mosque goes up, village fortresses will be coming in a lot quicker. MarineLord is looking to be aggressive here. He's got another amount of stone for a keep. He could drop another keep at any point. He's got the sacred site in the center of the map. Doesn't quite have control of the left side, but he won't mind that at this point. In fact, it looks like he's really going heavy on the units, looking to seal the deal in Castle Age. Once that trebuchet comes out, you just get the feeling Kasva's going to struggle. Kasva holding on, looking to see if he can have one strong push. Kasva will need a trebuchet of his own to be able to push that keep back, but here coming the tower elephants with the spearmen, with the scholars behind and the trebuchet. Military numbers looking great here from MarineLord. 58 of them, 37 for Kasva. Kasva going to look to dive in the situation with the spearmen, but there are scholars behind there. There is also Mangonel. Tower elephants do back away. This one stays alive. That is great micro by MarineLord. Look at that. That tower elephant soaked up so much damage, but will be restored back to full health. You get the feeling with the scholars. And this is the issue. The scholars making the difference in the fight, you feel. Kasva needs to brace himself for wave number 2. Mosque is up and running. Village fortresses will be pretty quick here to produce. Another 3 minutes or so. Another trebuchet going to be taking out the capital town centre. What do you do if you're Kasva here? Going to lose your main town centre. You're already behind on villages, I suspect. 69 for MarineLord, 50 for Kasva. Had a lot of idle time. Reduced amount of military compared to your opponent. That TC will go down, you feel. Just manages to survive. Oh, just keeps it alive there, Kasva. Could that be his lifeline? I don't think it probably will, because he's under so much pressure, and it's not. Kasva calls it. He loses the set 2-0. MarineLord wins this quarterfinal matchup, and he progresses to the semi-finals. We shall see who he faces up against. I hope you guys enjoyed this casted game, and if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. Stick around on the channel for the next video to be released, which will be the next quarterfinals. Take care, and see you next time.